It is a really windy morning here on the top of the Lambourne Gallops, and I thought I'd bring Richard Johnson up here to firstly explain to me about jumping the Grand National fences, because we've got a couple of practice fences here, and then show me on a horse. Wish me luck. I've got to say, my heart is beating slightly faster as we get a bit closer to this fence here, because it's not small. I'd say it's about my height, which is about 5'8", and the size of it, the actual like width and the depth of it, we've got to jump that on a horse.
Yeah, but I say, lucky enough, the horses have got lots of scope, and they do enjoy it. And you'll see, you know, when the Grand National or any of the fences races over the Grand National fences, horses getting a nice rhythm. And you know, David Nicholson, in my first job I ever had in racing, he always used to say rhythm is the most important thing. And I think, yeah, when horses enjoy it, you know, they cover them easily.
And they're put here, especially, so there's one in, they're set up in Lambourne, one in Moulton and one at David Pipe's yard, right? So to get the Grand National horses a chance to have a look at them.
Yeah, exactly, and actually it's fantastic that the Jock Club have done that, because then, you know, all the horses can, wherever in the country, they can come and try them, and it is important for the horses to see them, because they are different. If they got to the Grand National on the day and just suddenly, first time they'd ever seen it, it would be a shock to their system. As
we approach it, where roughly are we going to be taking off on the horses?
The great thing about a racehorse, especially in a race, they can take off 6 inches away from the fence, or they can probably take off 4 foot away from the fence. So yeah, again, if the horse is in a nice rhythm, you know, it will vary. And if you go up to a fence after the race, you'll see footprints all over the place. But the most important thing again for them is in rhythm, and say because the fence is in an arch, you know, it allows them to jump really easily.
We often hear jockeys talking about seeing a stride. What does that mean?
I'm not quite sure.
Not quite sure. Typical stride seeing.
Yeah, I think you know, obviously, yeah, you will see a good stride, and you will sort of lean into the horse and ask them to sort of quicken into the fence, really. But again, in the Grand National, you know, the horse will always find their own rhythm slightly, and all horses are different. Some are big and bold and want to take off from 6 foot away from the fence, and other horses will always want to go in quite close to the fence and just sort of jump it quietly. All horses, especially race horses, will have a similar sort of attitude. So as long as they've had all the right education, to be honest, yeah, that's the most important thing.
I'm really hoping our horses this morning have had a bit of an education. I suppose there's probably a bit of a sweet spot, right, for taking off, like somewhere here, so in your good rhythm, you're not kind of like getting in too close or taking off too far, so you want that kind of perfect arch over the fence, right?
That sounds ideal. But like you say, if the horse is a nice, you know, strong canter, yeah, gets sort of probably anywhere in this area, and it will clear the fence well and will land just as far out the other side. So
yeah, because the whole distance from taking off to landing is something crazy, isn't it?
It's a long way, and actually horses, when they're galloping, you know, their stride is huge, a lot bigger than you sort of can imagine. So like I say, yeah, I wouldn't be able to jump it, but yeah, they'll do it well.
Now, have you ever taught someone to jump these fences that hasn't done them before?
I think I need the tuition, to be honest.
I don't think you do, that's very modest of you. But hopefully you're going to talk me through it, and we're going to achieve it safely.
It'll be fun.
It will be, for sure. You know where you're going.
I'm really looking forward to riding this horse in the National.
I'm going to keep an eye out for you. I can say, come the race, I'll be like, well, I actually gave that horse a lead. When you win, I'm going to claim part of the glory, you realise.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the bit I'm looking at. Can we give them a belt down?
I think me and Keelan might set up sides and you can just follow us, I think. Okay?
Yeah.
Got your next step?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be fine. Okay?
Yeah. What was it you were saying about fine line between adrenaline and fear? not sure coffee is a very good idea because my heart rate is still through the roof. It's been a while since we got off our horses, but my word, that was exhilarating. How was it for you?
No, it's good, and when you ride a horse that enjoys it, my horse, he had a good look at the first one, and then he was really, really good. But I think, I'm very impressed with you, coming and doing it to start with, and
not falling off, staying intact with the horse.
You definitely had more colour in your face the second time up anyway. You definitely looked a little bit happier going the second time.
Was there a bit of a white drawn kind of peaky look?
I think the unknown is always a worry, but like I say, you definitely looked like you enjoyed it, and hopefully you did.
Oh, I did. I've got to say, I am an adrenaline junkie, but they are different, aren't they, in the sense that they're bigger. They're just like big, beefy fences, and you know that they're Grand National fences when you get up to them, don't you? But actually, to be fair, the horses do take them well in their stride.
Yeah, I think so, and actually they're made in a lovely way. They're really, as we said earlier, they're really shaped well, and they're very inviting. We had the added bonus this morning of the wind blowing up all the fur in front of us as well, so they were probably about nearly a foot bigger. But
thanks.
But again, the horses actually, I think they take it in their stride. They've modified them with the plastic sort of bases, which is much nicer for the horses jump anyway if the birch gets taken off.
And I think your horse was having a look at them for the first time. Did he take a bit of adjusting?
Well, he definitely. I think he got to the first one. He was almost. You could see it was different. He's obviously got a good attitude because he still jumped it nicely. But again, it's amazing. I think it's really important that they have got these facilities around the country, so horses could go and school over them, because not every trainer can build 2 or 3 national fences for themselves just for this one race. So trainers can come and use the facilities. And I think for the horses, again, it's going to be, you wouldn't want to rock up at Aintree never seeing a green Grand National type fence. So it's fantastic. So
the way we did it is you gave me a lead. I sat kind of 6-7 lengths behind you. For a horse learning, is that a good way to acclimatise to jumping those fences? Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter whether you're starting a horse off literally over a pole from scratch, or something different like today at a Grand National fence. I think if you've got a horse that's leading you, that is going to be a good jump in front of you, it gives you that confidence to you and the horse to follow as well. And again, I think it's good for horses to lead sometimes, then also follow a horse. And obviously in the Grand National with 40 runners, there's so many horses around you, it's nice for the horses to get all that different experience. Because we did a couple where I followed you and then we went upsides. I couldn't quite stay upsides, but I definitely got a feeling, even though it was just the 2 of us, of having another horse around you. And I can't imagine what it must be like to have, 39 other horses around you charging into those first few fences at presumably a lot faster speed than we were going.
Yeah, and I think the first mile of the Grand National is always quicker than probably nearly all the rest of the race, really, because obviously everybody wants to get a good position. You always want to try and see the first fence and let your horse see the first fence. So getting 40 of you sort of organised, as everyone knows, the starts can be a bit of a nightmare. But again, it's when the horse is relaxed and enjoying it, hopefully after you've jumped a few fences, everything settles down, and then you can actually really enjoy it. Probably the first, I think when your jockey goes out there, almost the first few fences are the most nervous and exciting, because you never quite know what's going on around you, and with so many other horses, you need a bit of luck in running as well.
Have you ever had an experience when you've gone out there, you jumped the first and you've gone, this horse is, we're not going to get around here?
One of my first experience was I fell at the first, so I literally, as I got to the first, he didn't get very high, and he was almost just trying to gallop down with the other horses. I don't think he even really looked at the fence. And I think he got taken away by all the excitement of the day. And unfortunately, we both lay at the back of the fence.
On your first ride?
On my first ride on the other side, and on a horse called Banjo. And I think we then, we both got up and walked back. But it was, all the big build-up, and then all of a sudden it was a very short experience.
Thank you so much for doing this morning. You've been absolutely brilliant, and I think maybe by the end of the day, my nerves will settle.
I think you did very, very well. I'm very impressed.
You're very kind.
I was slightly cautious the first time I looked round when we pulled up to check you were there, and you were right behind us, so you nothing to worry about.
Oh, it was brilliant. Thank you so much. Really kind.
Pleasure.